Come on. All right. YouTube's live again. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. My computer decided to say, fuck you. So that happened.
Oh, shit. Oh, the kid. Just 2 seconds. Do you think you got the record?
I'm about to take a look at it. Let's see here. Just caught up. All right, so. Oh, that's interesting. I just got this strange error message that said other programs are competing with processor time usage. Which I've never seen before.
Huh.
Refreshing. It does get a little bubbly in the tummy, kind of
Yay.
like bread.
Okay, that's good. So we left off.
Well, and it's interesting the way that's connected with a saison and the sour.
Sorry, YouTube. We're just recovering information here. Hold tight.
Do you remember? Because I believe you purchased this one.
So, YouTube, how are things? It's been a while since I've seen you. Approximately 1 week.
$9.99.
Well, since you've seen me. I watch you every day.
Especially because we were doing this out of $7.50. So
Did you know that? It's true. You, specifically, watching. It's probably nobody.
Especially because we were drinking this out of $7.50. So basically the same amount that you get in a.
All right, we'll take it back from there because that's when it started to fade out. Good thing we're just doing that beer review element. Okay, good.
When did it fade out?
When I mentioned that it was coming out of a 750 milliliter bottle, so we really didn't miss much actually, which was nice.
Did we rate it?
No.
We'll rate it again,
Yeah.
just to be safe.
Okay.
All right, and we're back. Facebook, thank you for your patience while we dealt with our technical difficulties. You're the real hero.
You are the real hero. The real American hero. Okay, so
Hero.
we're gonna come back from YouTube and we're gonna continue our recording. So thanks for sticking with us, and we'll continue the podcast. All right, here we go. We're coming back in 3, 2, 1.
All right, so on Untapped, I think we're sitting at a. What did we decide? A 351?
Yeah, I decided a 375.
375.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to remember what the Untapped rating was. I
Oh,
apologize.
okay, gotcha. Sorry.
But yes,
Untapped,
375 for this beer,
yes, Untapped has us at a 376.
which is right where it should be. Consider drinkability, price point, re-drinkability. I don't think I could drink a whole lot of this at once. It's definitely a nice one to share, but I could come back to it. Not the same night, but I would come back to it.
That's a great point.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think I could do this once a night tops, and it's because the Brettanomyces with that sour tartness sort of mess with my stomach, honestly. So, like, I just have this unsettling feeling in it after I have a sour beer, which I don't know if anybody else experiences.
Oh, I'm
that.
right there with
Okay.
you. I 100% agree. It's almost the same way eating like spicy food sits in your belly, or like really hot wings. You're like, I enjoy this so much, but it just punches me in the gut.
Absolutely.
So, the price you pay, to enjoy things.
Sometimes you got to pay that price, man. Sometimes your
Exactly.
butthole's got to burn.
Unless you a bitch. Everybody enjoy. Good butthole burn builds character. I think.
Yeah, you got to build that character up, because if you don't, then what are you doing? What are you doing with your day?
You ain't shit if you haven't had a little butthole burn.
No, that means you're not living life to its fullest.
You're not even living life a little.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. Get out there and make that butthole burn. Oh, good God. So now let's get on to the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes of the show.
Yeah.
All right.
So big news.
Big news.
Huge.
Huge.
We're talking about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Does whatever a Spider-Man can.
He spins a web.
He doesn't get renewed by Marvel.
That's that's kind of how that works out. Yeah.
Couple of goddamn musicians over here.
Oh, that's how we roll.
So yeah, that's kind of the big news here is Sony and Disney seem to have split over
Yes.
their agreement on how to continue forward. I thought they had a contract for like 5 appearances or 5 movies, but I guess, whatever, fucks contracts.
Fuck 'em.
But when they went to renegotiate, I'm gonna read to you from a screenshot I took from businessinsider.com.
Gotcha.
Deadline reported on Tuesday that Sony and Disney had failed to come to an agreement over Spider-Man's future in the MCU. Disney wanted an even 50-50 co-financing stake in the future Spider-Man movies, according to Deadline, while Sony wanted to keep the deal as is, where Marvel receives up to 5% of first dollar gross and any merchandising revenue. Sony hopes that Spider-Man star Tom Holland and the director John Watts will return for 2 more movies, according to Deadline. Marvel Studios and Feig would not be involved unless something changes between now and then, meaning those movies would not include appearances from other MCU characters. So that was another big thing, besides the money agreement that Sony was pretty pissed off, was Kevin Feige was going to be done with Spider-Man, even if it stayed with Marvel, because it wasn't a Marvel-centric project.
Okay. Interesting.
So they took their ball and went home.
They did take their ball and go home. So there has been an update to this deal as of Saturday. It's not set in stone yet, but we believe it to be the deal that they want to move forward with between Sony and Marvel. And this was just yesterday. So they are going for Sony is going for a 6-picture deal with Sony leasing the rights of the Spider-Man character to Marvel with the option for a 7th film. Tom Holland is attached to all the movies at this point, as well as Tom Holland has stated that he wants to continue to play this role as long as they will let him play it.
Of course, he wanted this so bad. This is one I kind of right from the beginning, even Sony was like, it's probably not like done.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more of a little bit of a throw a fit sort of thing to maybe get more money or bigger contract. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. It seemed pretty real though. Tom Holland, I guess, even unfollowed Sony on Twitter.
Wow.
And social media.
Oh, that's a big move, man.
Yeah,
Unfollow.
when you unfollow on Twitter, I love how that's how
Nice.
people check to see if shit's serious or not.
Yeah.
Is go and check out who they still follow and don't follow on their social media pages.
Good God, it's
Because
so
that's the
silly.
world we live in.
It is the world.
So who knows? It may be done, but in all reality, it's probably not.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely lot.
Right? Yeah. So as of now, there's going to be a total of 9 Spider-Man movies, right? So we have this initial trilogy that's happening right now. There's a 3rd movie is going to come out regarding another Spider-Man film, and then there will be another trilogy of Spider-Man films that focus on Peter Parker in the college days, and we're going to meet some interesting characters. We're going to get Iceman and we're going to get Firestarter out of that,
Okay.
which is kind of harkens back to like the late 1980s with Spider-Man and Friends.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it sounded like when you said that.
So
Okay.
that'll be kind of fun. And then the back end trilogy will focus on Spider-Man as far as he is in the Avengers. He'll take on more of a leadership role, as well as we're going to build in the Fantastic Four, as well as the X-Men. And Spider-Man's going to befriend a one Johnny Storm. Guess what we may get? Bagman as a result. So I'm kind of curious to see if that rolls out a little
there'll
bit.
definitely be a reference to that if it happens. So it sounds like Sony's more wanting to make a power play
Mm-hmm.
with this, where it's like, we don't want Spider-Man to just be involved in the MCU. We want him to be the most crucial aspect of the MCU.
And that's what it sounded like. Sony wasn't very happy with Marvel with the amount of screen time he got in the previous two Avengers movies. They just want a lot more of it. So they changed the deal as a result. So it was initially 50-50, as you were stating earlier, but now the deal's moved to a more 70-30 deal, with Sony having 70% and Marvel having 30%. They're going to have a co-financing deal. So Marvel is going to co-finance the next 6 Spider-Man movies with an option for a 7th. However, Sony's going to take the bulk of the profits home on that one. So
Interesting. Is Marvel still trying to keep the merchandising rights, or Disney? Because I feel like that's where you're going to make a good chunk of your money for many years to come.
I don't think that was the case. I think Marvel's primarily focusing on, are we going to get Spider-Man just in the universe? And so they weren't particularly worried about merchandising
That
to
fucks a
that
lot
degree.
of storytelling to just pull Spider-Man out.
Absolutely, and that's the whole thing. Like, because if Sony were to pull Spider-Man, also, who are you going to get to play Spider-Man? And also, are you just going to neglect the last 6 years of what people have been watching?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Spider-Man story is concerned.
Right, like you pull them, say you do pull them into the Sony universe against, your Venom and Craven and all that shit that's going to be happening. Exactly, you just ignore everything we've seen the last 5 appearances, 3 or 4, however many appearances he's had already.
Right. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
5.
Yeah, you're right.
Civil
5.
War, Avengers, and his own 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just ignore 5 major MCU appearances in every character he came into place with.
Well, yeah,
because that means what are you going to do with Marissa Tomei and the rest of the cast of hooligans?
Yeah, what are you going to do? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit. That wouldn't be a movie. And a lot of people were talking about, we're going to boycott the movies. I was like, are you? Most people say that. And then guess what? That movie grosses like $1 billion. And then people are like, I thought we were going to boycott that movie. What happened? So it's sort of weird. So yeah, so essentially, let's sort of going back to the money deal of this. Sony also owns the rights to Venom. It's one of the only other characters that Sony has the rights to. So we're going to see Venom come back into the MCU, not come back, but be introduced into the MCU as a result of this deal, which is a plus as far as I'm concerned. No pun intended. We're also going to get... What else do we? Yeah, actually, that's it. It's a plus. Venom's coming into the MCU at some point. Not sure who's going to play him, but...
You don't think it'll be Tom Hardy?
I don't know. Hopefully it is, but that information is unavailable.
Guess only time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will tell us, but we'll know in time.
Yeah, we'll know in time. Yeah, so Sony will essentially maintain distribution rights. Says the money in this deal is 70-30 split between Marvel and Sony, with Sony receiving 70% of the monies made from Spider-Man films, merchandising, and television and streaming grosses are going to Sony.
Shit.
It's a lot.
So they really are pulling a power play there.
Yeah.
Is this confirmed, or is this just the deal they threw them?
This is the deal that they were trying to finalize as of yesterday because they wanted it in time for the D23 Expo.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what came out about it. It was in the midnight hours of the deal, sort of like an 11th hour situation.
Oh, I'm sure like a lot of times when we talk about shit like this on the podcast, once we wrap up and we go out and have a beer and check, our news feeds, and articles going to pop up that clarifies it for us, and then we have to
Sure.
wait a whole other week to fucking talk about it.
100%.
That seems to
yeah.
happen all the time.
Right. Yeah. We're like, hey, breaking news. But guess what? It's a whole different thing with Gene now. So sorry about that. So it's the nature of how the show goes. It's what it is.
It's a belly of the beast, bitch.
Yep. But yeah, the cool thing though about this is that Marvel has basically rights to the story. So we'll have a more cohesive story then.
That is good. That is good. And I think Sony's all right with that too, because I think somehow as long as Spider-Man continues to stay on screen and they have their name attached to it in some way, it meets that every 5-year deal for them. And if they have the next, 6, potentially 7 more pictures on lock, they
Mhm.
pretty much just sit back and collect checks.
Straight up. Yeah. And who doesn't want to do that? Oh, you let like Marvel handle the distribution, the storytelling, just every other aspect, and you just sit back and collect your check.
Fat fucking checks.
All you do is throw down a little bit of money to help co-finance some films. You get everything else, right?
Oh, yeah. And
That's
you're
so-
getting that money back real quick and then some.
Yeah, because what did Spider-Man Far From Home almost did $1 billion?
I think it did do $1 billion
Oh,
worldwide by the time
Jesus.
it was done.
And at a 70% take home from that, good Christ, you did pretty okay. So
Yeah, no doubt.
calm down,
Not to
Sony.
mention the merchandising from it too. Like I thought that was a big deal for Marvel, but they're probably like, "Fuck, we get enough from you can have the one character."
The one. But yeah, so that's sort of the update of that deal. So we'll see as the fallout happens next week what actually occurred. So
Interesting.
that's what I knew as of today and yesterday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
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 Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. A little bit more information video game wise. So Sony last year at this time, not at this time, but around October, November, released Spider-Man on the PS4, which
such a great game.
was huge.
Such a great game.
Storytelling, gameplay, physics, everything was fantastic in that game. That game was produced by Insomniac Games. And so, as a result, Sony bought Insomniac Games as like a full-on final acquisition for it because they want the rights to Spider-Man in this video game medium that they're telling the story. So they officially bought the rights to Insomniac. And we're like, well, I thought you already did. No, they just did.
Interesting.
So yeah, hopefully we get more of a rich storytelling experience as a result.
Well, and I'm wondering because, with that Ultimate Alliance game that's coming out, obviously Spider-Man's going to be in that.
Mhm.
I wonder if it's going to be the same Spider-Man because at some point, I haven't checked up in a while, that was the whole thought where there's going to be this Marvel video game universe.
Mhm.
And that sounds awesome.
Exactly, yeah. So hopefully we'll get to continue to see that because I want to see another Spider-Man video game because that movie, not that movie, but that game made a dickload of cash when it came out last year. So
As well, it should have.
yeah.
I mean, I think it was its first week and it was the highest selling Sony exclusive of all time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
Which-
again, after playing it, as well it should be.
Fucking
What a phenomenal game.
Fun, dude.
I think
Super
there's
fun.
still some DLC I could get back into and play on that bitch.
Oh yeah, I haven't checked that in a while. Good
Yeah.
call. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just wanted to make sure I slipped that one in there as well.
Nice.
So yeah, kind of fun.
Insomniac Games, man.
Mhm.
What other good games have they made?
Good question.
I know they've done quite a bit.
They
but
have. I
I
can't
think of any off the top of my head.
I don't know a lot of video game production companies. I'll be honest. I know.
It's definitely not something I know in stride to where I can just drop it.
Yeah, the only one I got offhand is Santa Monica Studios, which does the God of War games, but that's about it. Yeah, so that is what we know about the Sony Marvel deal thus far.
Sunset Overdrive, Ratchet and Clank, Edge of Nowhere, The Unspoken, Stormland, the Resistance franchise, Spyro, which
Oh,
I always thought was a
Spyro.
PlayStation exclusive.
Well, Sony does make the PlayStation console, so that makes sense.
All
Huh.
right. Okay.
Cool. Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, man. Well, what do you think?
I think you just hit your face on the microphone.
Did yeah? These headphones are just killing me.
I think I probably got to take a quick quick break
All right, man.
and then come back and drink another beer.
Let's do that. All right, everyone. We'll see you in a quick minute. Peace.
I'm not even gonna stop Facebook.
Yeah. Daisy. Hi, Daisy.
I'll do the Grand Teton.
The Grand Teton. God damn, I still can't believe that shit fucking happened. That was weird.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught it before
Yeah, it just went too long.
Problem
We went too
happened.
down. Yeah, that
I'm
bread.
glad we didn't lose anything.
No, yeah. Best way could have gone. I just there's another YouTube, so and that video ended on YouTube, and I just created a part 2 of this on YouTube. So
Okay, cool.
well, that's how it'll work. Yeah. Cool. All right. Break it. 47:45.
How much do you have in reference to sequels and TV shows you'll never get closure for?
I primarily focus on TV shows, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have about 14 items. Mine's mostly nostalgia, though.
They're like, nope, I'm out. Ugh. just waiting on you, bro.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I was waiting on you. My bad. Oh, fun times. Okay. Yeah, we'll get into the I tap that, and then we will start into the main topic. Cool. All right, coming back in 3, 2, 1.
And now for our I Tap That series.
The I tap that series.
Which-
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm
Oh.
struggling opening this beer.
While Jerry opens his burr, basically our I Tab That series, for those of you who are new to the cast, new to the show, first, we welcome you, and secondly, we will explain how this segment sort of works. So, what we're going to do is we're going to drink and highlight an Idaho-based craft brewed beverage, in which case we will decide collectively as the Brewnomics boys. What we'll do is we'll rate it, and then we will ask each other if we tap that. Now, we don't mean it in a sexual way. What we mean it in the way is that we would tap it like you would a keg, meaning that we would continue to drink it all night, all weekend, as long as we possibly can, because this beer is so fantastic.
Well said. So this week's Idaho beer is from Grand Teton Brewing.
Grand Teton.
It is the 208 Born and Raised in Idaho Session Ale. It's about as Idaho as it gets. They are from Victor, Idaho, which, if I recall, is right on the border of Idaho and Wyoming. But still Idaho.
Still Idaho.
So we got us a beer that has an alcohol percentage of not on the bottle.
I have here on Untapped that the ABV is sitting at 4.8% alcohol by volume.
That does sound like a session percentage.
It's rated as a blonde ale. No IBUs listed. It has an average rating of 3.5, and that is derived from 5,200 ratings.
Pretty good amount of ratings on there. And on the label, it says it is a 100% Idaho beer, which I assume means the hops, malts, water, yeast, etc. is all from Idaho,
Interesting.
which wouldn't be terribly uncommon.
Not terribly.
Okay. Poured very fuzzy, fizzy, heady.
It's a very heady bev. Yeah.
I don't think it got shooken up. Pretty sure it was stored well.
Yep.
What do you think? Tell me the words, the thoughts that you have.
It definitely tastes like a lagered beverage, blonde ale. We have the color, which is very blonde by nature. It's good. It's refreshing. It's comfortable. I think this is meant to be drinking cold,
Yes.
as most lagered beverages do.
Yeah, most things that are this color, this super yellow color and sit below 5%, you're going to want to drink a little cold.
It's good though. I like it. It's got this there's a little back end spicy quality to it.
It does. It seems to have a little bit of natural, spicy, earthy quality to it that I actually enjoy.
I like it. Yeah. It gives it enough complexity to be like, "Oh, I want to come back to you."
Mm-hmm. And at 4.8, you can almost round that up to 5.
Almost.
That it would be, this isn't a bottle, but I would like this in a can because it would make a good drinking game beer.
Ooh.
I always prefer cans over bottles.
Straight up.
So not bad. The time of year where we're at right now, I would give it a 3.25, and I would tap it.
3.25. I think that's well. I'm gonna go with 3.5. I would tap it as well. This is a very sessionable beer. In fact, it is titled as a session style ale. So
Good thing it lives up to the name. Yeah, mine's already almost gone.
yeah,
Enjoying it.
very drinkable, high redrinkability. So yeah, for that, we definitely
It's like
tap
a
that.
real good earthy, in a good way, like almost like a natural spice. I don't know how quite to explain it.
Yeah, there's a spice
Like I enjoy it a lot.
like a lemon peppercorn.
Mhm.
Like
It just tastes real. It doesn't taste like processed or anything.
Right.
Very natural, and I really enjoy that about this beer. You can tell it was actually handcrafted.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. This weird lemon peppery corn sort of like organic taste to it that we're trying to establish.
Go
It's
great with a steak.
a good call. I like that. I like it with a steak. Like it with some barbecue chicken,
Also sounds good.
some ribs. Really anything barbecued, honestly.
Oh, barbecue sounds great.
It does sound great.
Huh.
Why are we whispering?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just deep in thought about barbecue.
Yep.
It'll just get you there, just dozing off, just dreaming about barbecue. Fucking love barbecue. We should go have some barbecue after the podcast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's still early. We have time to get barbecue.
we can do it. Cool. Yeah. So this beer, fantastic. We'll have a 2-8.
Great job, Grand Teton.
Yeah.
208 Idaho Session L. Pick that up, especially during the summer. And I really hope they make this in cans. I gotta look. I think I've only seen it in bottles, but should be in cans
they
because
probably
it
do
definitely
make it.
seems like an outdoorsman beer for sure.
Absolutely. It's a good like hiking beer.
And I want to throw a dart at this and chug it.
Yes. If you haven't played beer darts with us, just figure it out.
We should. It'd be fun. You're invited. Okay, let's talk about sequels / TV shows that we'll probably never get closure for.
Yep.
Rather, it's a cliffhanger that the show didn't answer, an early cancellation, a late cancellation, a teaser that didn't come through, whatever. However you want to talk about it. A series that you thought maybe just ended too soon for one reason or the other, even if it didn't end on a major cliffhanger, but you want it back because you enjoyed it. It's your life. You answer the question how you see fit.
Absolutely.
Does that sound fair?
I like it.
I hope so, because I don't think that was a harsh rule.
Twas not.
Excuse me.
All right. Well, I'll start us off then. One of the shows that I wish wasn't canceled was Netflix's Marvel's Luke Cage.
Bro, I was going to say we could have a whole series just for all of the Defenders.
Straight up.
But Luke Cage had some unanswered questions that we wanted. Iron Fist finally got good. Unanswered question.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil at least had a nice wrap up because they kind of were able to see it coming.
They saw it.
Same
Yeah.
for Punisher, although, tease that you could want more. But yeah, Iron Fist and Luke Cage for sure.
Yeah, I just think there was a lot more to tell with this world, and I just want more of it, man. I
Mhm.
just wish that I could have so much more of it. And I did.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, especially the music. I'd love to see what they continue to do with that. The character growth, the action, the story, all of it, man. Like I said, with all of them, there's so much closure that we'll never get with this Netflix series. And it, excuse my language, is fucking bullshit.
It is bullshit. I agree.
Stupid fucking just stupid Disney Plus, Netflix, fucking just.
Well, and hopefully too, maybe later, if there is enough of an outcry for it, Disney Plus will reactivate Mike Coulter and we will get another season of Luke Cage. Doubtful, but we'll see.
I mean, it's possible they could, and I would like to see it happen because it's only 2 years till it's done, till they could start producing again. And 2 years in movie time or TV show time is nothing.
Really? Yeah, you're right.
And
man.
especially with as exciting as they continue to make the Marvel Universe with the Disney Plus service, they could do something to tease it and keep it alive.
Mm-hmm.
There's always hope, motherfuckers.
Always, man. Absolutely. That's a great point.
Bullshit reason to cancel, man. Fucking just let them do their own thing.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah,
We
Netflix
won't.
doesn't have the pull like Sony does, though, with that.
Yeah. Fucking Sony. God,
Fucking Sony.
I will buy a PlayStation 5, but fuck you.
Oh, yeah, the deck in my truck is a Sony. It's a motherfucker. They're a 4-letter word.
Yep. They are.
Mhm.
It's literally 4 letters in that word.
That's true.
What you got, my man?
So let's talk about Hellboy 1 and 2.
Okay.
The Golden Army. And, I think I talked about the last podcast a little bit about how much I fucking hated the Hellboy reboot. But if I hated anything so much about it, more than absolutely anything, it confirmed that we weren't going to get the third Hellboy to close out the trilogy.
Right.
And they set it up to do a good trilogy for it, or the third movie after the second one. It was meant to be a trilogy. Ron Perlman wanted it. Guillermo del Toro wanted it. They all did, but it'll never happen, man.
People who wield the money just decided, fuck you, we're not going to do it.
And that's one of those things that I just don't understand. You put well over $50 million into doing this Hellboy reboot that nobody wanted because everybody wanted the third one.
Yeah.
The participants were willing and ready and able, so there wasn't really anything holding them back. And instead, you just decide to go a whole new route and fuck it royally.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that reboot. We already had an established series involved. Make it happen.
Close the trilogy.
Close it out.
Yeah. And that would have made so much more money. And you could have given it the same $50 million budget because Guillermo del Toro could have done so much more with $50 million than whoever the fuckwads are that they got on this one.
100%, man. Fucking GDT does his fucking job, and he does it well.
Does it well. Perlman would do it well. You know, they'd get the whatever the fish guy's name was.
I just know him as Doug Jones, but
that's his name,
yeah.
Doug Jones.
Okay.
There we go. Abe Sapien
is
his
Sapien.
name in the. I was trying to think of his actual actor name.
Yeah,
because Doug Jones does a lot of great. I mean, he's no Andy Serkis, but he's pretty close.
You might, yeah. He's Andy fucking Doug Jones. Fucking always in the background of some shit. He's kicking ass everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I got. The Hellboys.
Nice, man. That's a good pick. I definitely appreciate that. I want to see more of the GDT series there. There's another show that I would love to see, and this is a Sony sort of piece. Take it as you will. Powers.
Yeah,
I would love to see a continuation of the show Powers. It was primarily a Sony exclusive to the PlayStation Network, and we only got to see 2 seasons of that, and it was very difficult to get those 2 seasons because of whatever reason Sony had.
I think a lot of reasons with it, right? Budget, advertising for it. You could only watch it if you had like the PlayStation Gold subscription on there. So it's kind of a weird platform to begin with. Unique comic book twist on there. Although to me, that was kind of like bringing a little bit of satire and different thought to the comic book universe well before The Boys did. So I think they did really well. I thought it was well cast. Some people shit on it, but fuck them.
Fuck them.
I agree. What a good choice.
Yeah, Powers, I just think there's so much more of a story to tell. Originally a story done by Icon Publishing. And it was fantastic. We had some of their original works for the comic books, but I want to continue to see a live action version of that. I think it was great.
I
want more of
absolutely
it.
agree. Especially it was cast really well with Sharlto Copley being the main guy, Alyssa something, I can't remember the girl's name with it. Eddie Izzard being the bad guy in the first season. He was phenomenal. It's kind of like an X-Men based in the real world, but there are going to be these super intense social media takes on it. Regular media is going to have a lot tighter view on it. A little bit more controlled with what you can do. It was a fascinating idea. And I thought it was pretty well executed, and it was a big bummer that it was canceled like it was.
Well, it was, yeah. And the amount of freedom that they experienced because they didn't have other studio interruptions. It was their own fucking thing on the PlayStation Network. It was fantastic. So they got to create like freely, which is great. And I just want more of that. And
Agreed.
I just wish there were more. But yeah, that was.
But there never will be.
There never will be.
Never, ever, ever will be.
Oh well.
All right. Let's talk about Freakazoid.
Ooh, freaking me, freaking you.
Only had 1 season.
It was only one?
It was only 1 season.
Wow.
It was a good chunk of episodes within that season because that was kind of the thing with 90s animation TV series. Like 42 episodes for 1 season.
Wow. Yeah.
But Freakazoid was a great show that a lot of people really enjoyed. It still got a massive cult following, but in that 1 season, it switched time slots 3 different times.
It did, yeah.
In 1 season.
As somehow it had difficulty locating an audience.
And you can't, even if you catch one, you can't have new ones come on and the new ones come on if you're changing time slots 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's
No,
just, especially back in the 90s, not now when you could DVR it or hope it was on Hulu the next day or whatever in the hell streaming service you're using that's available to you to do such things. You just couldn't do it.
couldn't do it.
So it ruined a great, well ahead of its time TV show.
And it should be noted that this particular series was created by Bruce Timm, who was also the creator of Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, basically the DC animated universe as a whole. So that is sort of my segue into wanting Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series to be revisited, because we only got about 3 seasons of each of those.
Yeah, 2 of Batman.
2 of Batman,
And I think 3 of Superman.
3 of Superman. Yeah. And so I really wish those were some of my favorite fucking shows growing up as a kid, because I thought they were great. They were well executed. They were well done. The stories were rich and deep, involved. We even got a Batman Superman crossover at one point between Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
And the animation was breakthrough. The voice work, iconic. I mean, we talked about so many times Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, the guy that voiced Superman.
George Newbern.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they still, to this day, will reprise their roles, and it's hard to ever hear a voice with any animated version of them that sounds not weird if it's not coming from one of those 3 gentlemen for those particular characters on there. And the show still hold up. I mean, to this day, if you go back and watch them, and if you have, the DC Universe app or Amazon, I think you can go back and watch it all, and you can guarantee it will still hold up. The animation's still fun. The story's still fun. The voice work still is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's all great.
It's great, man. Yeah. And I think they could continue to do so much more. I think each of them have at least 2 to 3 more seasons left in them. So I would love to continue to see more about that. But we may never get that because Bruce Timm, and they decided not to renew their series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is what it is.
I'd rather have more Freakazoid.
Me too.
Because we got plenty of Batman and Superman options.
Over the years, for
and
sure.
it continues to grow, and they get their, animated series and movies and live action ones. Where the fuck's Freakazoid been, Vic?
I don't know, man.
Where's he been?
He's nowhere.
He's dead.
He's dead. It's not renewed.
No, he's not.
He's in production hell.
All right. What else do I got? Oh, here's what I just wrote down. Definitely not Green Lantern.
Nice.
Because, it was planned. It almost happened. They had a second one. They even had, for a bad movie, dare I say, a good end credit scene where we see Sinestro, a.k.a. Mark Strong, get the yellow lantern ring and put it on and turn yellow. And you're like, I would almost watch that. I probably won't because this one was terrible.
Yeah.
And then obviously it never happened.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I just put definitely not Green Lantern.
Definitely not Green Lantern. Yeah. I mean, the show had such potential, and it was just poorly executed as a whole, which sucked. We had Taika Waititi was in that movie.
He was.
He was the friend
He
of
was.
Ryan Reynolds' character,
Yeah.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Hard to see how that failed.
But I guess we didn't come here to talk about what we don't want a sequel. What I would have liked to see, and some people may or may not disagree with me, and that's your right as a human being, would be Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4, because that was planned to originally be 4 movies.
Mm-hmm.
But, with the changes in Sony and Marvel and that being planned to take over and not doing super great financially for the second one, we never got it.
Are we talking about with Andy Garfield?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. Not the because there was also ideas of a Spider-Man 4 within the Tobey Maguire universe and Sam Raimi that never came to be. And sounds like maybe it would have been okay, but I would have liked to see what they did with this one because they set it up really well to go into the Sinister Six.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say. So yeah, we have all the pieces in line for them to build the Sinister Six situation, which would have been phenomenal.
I think so, and I didn't mind Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I don't think he was a great Peter Parker. He He was a little too handsome and charming.
Sure.
Tom Holland is pretty handsome and charming too, but he's just awkward enough to make it work.
Mhm. Nice.
And he at least can do a New York accent.
When he doesn't blend into his English accent.
But yeah, I guess it'll never be.
I guess it won't. I really wish we did get to see that because I think they did a great job with Electro, and then we were about to see Rhino at the very end of Spider-Man 2. We had a great Kurt Connors in there, which was fantastic, and yeah,
Would have brought back in the Green Goblin.
the Green Goblin. Yeah,
I can't remember who else they had the intentions of bringing in.
it would have to be
Because they were going to have
Mysterio.
2 more characters.
Yeah, it would have to be Mysterio.
Could have been Scorpion or Shocker,
Sure.
but I can't. It doesn't matter now
Yeah, it
because it'll
doesn't
never
matter.
happen.
It'll never happen. Yeah, we'd love to see it though. It's unfortunate it's not there.
Mhm.
Let's see. Moving on with myself. There's another show that was on probably about 5 to 10 years ago. It was a show called Alphas. You're probably not aware of this show.
I am not.
So this show basically was it was its own universe. You had people who possess specific type of abilities in this world, and it was basically like DC's Metagene sort of coming out, and we're not sure what to do with it. So this show postulates that there was a specific bureau, part of the government, who investigated these people who were called alphas. They possessed a specific gene that allowed them to do certain things in this world. They either had super strength, they could control and see magnetic spectrums, they had access to their own adrenaline, so at will they could engage 100% of their adrenaline and be as strong as they possibly can, bring themselves to the azimuth of the human condition at a specific moment in time. There were also a couple others source powers that kind of express themselves, but it was basically like taking your human body to the most extreme it could have been, which was a very interesting concept to me. And it only had about 2 seasons, and I really wish that it had more. It got canceled just because it didn't have the following. But it's a very cool series, and I really wish there was more to it.
That sounds pretty interesting.
It was. It's hard to find. I think the only way I was able to attempt to run it down was Amazon and Vudu. I think they have seasons 1 and 2 somewhere, but you have to really look for it.
We have to search for that bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll give you my last one unless you got anything.
I got a few more, but go ahead.
So, my last one, or maybe not my last one. Excuse me. I'll be remiss before that one if I don't say something about Alf.
Oh, nice pick, bro.
Not just because I loved Alf as a child. The little alien crashed on Earth, ate stray cats, cheeky, sassy. Had a crazy ending at the end where he essentially, the family found out the government was trying to look for him. So they were trying to help Alf escape. And then right when it seems like all is right, the government pulls up and pretty much abducts Alf and takes him back. And the way it was done, with the way the government officials were led up and talking about it, their plan was to not catch and study, it was catch and dissect. And there was supposed to be they left it that way on purpose because they thought they were going to get renewed and come back, but it never happened. So it was just a massive cliffhanger on if Alf was left alive or not.
Interesting. Yeah. Never quite seen the end of that. That's
goddamn government came and took the Alf.
Probably did a whole lot of testing on him.
Shaved him.
Shaved him.
Could you imagine a shaved Alf?
Oh God,
how terrible that would have looked.
He would look super alien at that point.
Oh, that's funny. So because I grew up in New Mexico, and the license plate my grandparents had forever until they kind of changed styles and they had to get a new license plate number, but it was 555 Alf. I'll never forget it.
Oh God, that's great, man. Just like, where is he?
Not on purpose. It just happened. 555 Alf.
ALF. Wow. Does ALF stand for anything? Like,
I think it does.
Like alien
life form.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. I legitimately don't know.
We just came up with that just now, and it works. It works.
But that wasn't my final. But since it sounds like you have a couple, go on.
Yeah. So there's another show that was Netflix based. It was called The Killing. I believe there was about 2 seasons of this. It had our main man Joel Kinnaman, who was
Oh,
super good in this particular season, and I really wish they had more. Basically, it was a series where these two police agents in Seattle, takes place in Seattle, Washington, would look for specific individuals who were murderers, and not serial killers per se. Some turned out to be serial killers, but it primarily looked for people who killed multiple people. And it had a lot of conflict, a lot of drama to it, a lot of interesting things going on throughout the series. So I just kind of wish it continued on. We only got about 2 seasons of it, and I wanted more.
I did hear about that series. Never watched it myself, but I know a few people that watched it and did really enjoy it. So I know you're definitely not alone on that one. But Netflix does have a tendency to cancel kind of the wrong series and keep the wrong ones going sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wish they kept it going.
Mhm.
Lame, Netflix. Lame.
Netflix really needs to get its shit together.
It really does. You know what? And I understand, like, currently, I just saw a report that they are in negative cash flow, and they have been for the last 8
Well,
years.
this last quarter was the first time ever since the inception of Netflix that they lost subscribers.
Which is interesting, and they're currently blaming that on original content issues. Where you're like, oh, we don't have great content right now, so we need to continue to produce more money.
Well, it's pretty
Continue.
obvious because there are some Netflix originals that are absolutely fantastic.
Mhm.
But for every Stranger Things, you have 20 even worser things.
Absolutely, yeah, and you're 100% right. It's what drives the people to,
and they put a
subscribe.
lot of money into that shit, which is okay, but they don't. The good series that people relied on there, and movies, they take off.
Mhm.
So that aren't Netflix originals that kind of have other people come back on there. So I still think it hasn't quite been the same since they took all your Fox animated series off. Your Family Guys, Bob's Burgers, King of the Hill, Futurama, etc.
Mhm.
I think that hurt him. And then now with the Disney series, with them losing all the Marvel movies, all the Star Wars movies that are going to get pulled off on there, Office is going to get pulled off on there, Community's already gone from there. It's literally getting to the point to where all it seems that they have is their originals and weird ass movies and TV shows that nobody heard of or gives a shit about.
Absolutely, man. That's a great point. Like, it's what are you going to be able to bring to the table?
On top of being the most expensive streaming service now.
Yeah, because what are they pushing? $12?
I think it's like $15.99 now.
$15.99 streaming.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. That's absurd, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially when, and they have a negative cash flow of, I believe, $10 billion right now,
God damn.
which is a shit ton. Now, to put this in perspective, Disney's Plus, the streaming service, they have negative cash flow right now, and they will for the next 5 years.
Of course.
They don't plan to actually make money till 2026.
Really?
No. But that's their deal. Like, they completely understand that's what it's going to be because they're spending so much money on original content.
Well, that's the
and
thing with
all
a
that.
lot of businesses. If you're going to start a new business, you have to understand it's going to be a while before you make some money.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with a massive investment like the Disney Plus services.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. And it's like, because you can't go to a bank and say, like, you know what, I'd like $1 billion, but I won't be able to make money for another 6 years. I need that money now, though. What are you going to do? And they're not going to give you that loan. Somehow Netflix continues to get that money.
Right.
Bizarre.
Somehow.
I
don't know.
Weird.
Weird.
Okay. And then another one, just a couple ideas that I had. I want more Glow. We haven't heard anything about Glow yet. They just completed their 3rd season. It was fantastic. I still want more of that show.
Right. It hasn't been canceled, though.
It hasn't been canceled. We don't know that. I'm just saying it right now. I just want more of it. That's all
It's
that
amazing.
I'm saying. That's all that I'm
I
saying.
had it written down to talk about at the end of the show.
100%. Yeah. And then I just have sort of some nostalgia ideas. I want more The Silver Surfer, the animated show that was in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I want more
Actually
X-Men.
was really good. Only got one season on.
only, yeah, 1, 2 seasons. It was 2
Silver
seasons.
Surfer, I think, was one season.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was
Okay.
one season.
I believe you.
And definitely, either way, not enough.
Either way, not enough. I want more of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
There should have been a lot more of that, but they canceled it. Didn't find an audience, and it was unfortunate. And then we have X-Men the animated series, fucking mid '90s. I want more of that show. I know there's been other iterations of it as of today, but that particular way they did the show in the '90s was a masterpiece.
Absolutely, it
And
was a masterpiece.
I want more.
And the way they were able to diversify the cast in there to where it was a different, great story every single time with a different variation of characters every time. It wasn't just, like pure Wolverine like a lot of the later series were.
Mhm.
You'd get one based around Jubilee, one based around Gambit, one based around fucking Morph. The craziest characters on there. And you had serious emotion for a lot of them. It was real investments. Characters died. You grieved over characters. There was good humor. You laughed your ass off sometimes. Like, it was a crazy show.
It was good.
And the dopest theme song of all time.
Fucking greatest. It's fucking awesome. Loved it.
There we go.
Yeah.
So here's one that I'll take on. This is actually my last one.
Okay.
Constantine, the TV series, not the movie with Keanu Reeves, the series with Matt Ryan.
Yes.
It was done on Fox
initially,
and then it was before Arrow, Flash, Gotham, all of those. So it was just a little too ahead of its time. It was really fucking dark.
Yeah.
And the graphics in it were really good. It had a lot of great horror aspects to it. The cast was really good, but it just didn't get the traction that it needed for it. And I think if it came just after Arrow or, a little bit of the success of some of these other shows, it would have been absolutely huge. So we never got another series of it, thankfully, because it was so well received. And when CW got the Arrowverse universe, part of that included Constantine, they were able to bring him in. So we got him in some series with
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then I think on the CW Seed, he had his own short animated
He did.
bit on there, which was kind of cool, but we just never got another proper series like the first one. And Matt Ryan is a phenomenal Constantine.
He's the best, man. That's why he showed up in the DC animated series
Mhm.
a whole lot of the time. And he gets to voice that character. He showed up on Arrow.
Yeah.
He showed up on
And I think that shows the power of how great he was in that first season. It sucks because the rest of the cast didn't get in there. Some of the side characters whose names I'm losing right now, but we're several beers deep, so forgive me. But it was good, man. I really liked it. So
Good
I'm
pick.
glad the character survived on. I wish the series would have survived proper.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. 100% agree, man. I'm out of shows right now, so
Cool. Well, I think we'll call it good on that one
Yep,
then.
yep.
So those are our sequels, movies, TV shows, whatever that we want more of and didn't get. Share us your thoughts. If you disagree with us, which I doubt you do, because
we're us.
we're us exactly. But I'm sure we missed something, and there are thoughts that you have that you'd like to share, and I would like to hear. So comment, tweet us, Instagram us, whatever.
Carrier pigeon. Yeah.
Smoke signals. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to this final beer of the night.
Let's do it.
Okay.
What do you got?
So this is a seasonal series from Seven Seas Brewing Company out of Gig Harbor, Washington, and Tacoma, Washington.
Whoa.
It's called Never Say Die Nomadic IPA. And the label is awesome. It is quite clearly Goonies inspired.
Awesome.
It's got looks like a very rocky beach with 3 young character silhouettes walking into a cave shaped like a skull with a fucking eye patch. It is badass.
It is badass. Definitely Goonies inspired, as you say. They're walking into One-Eyed Willie's fucking
Cave.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's finish up with a nice IPA.
Very nice. Have you gotten for a sip yet?
I have not. It says pure migratory and resinous on the can. 6.3% alcohol by volume. That's about as much as I got.
Yeah, I got 72 IBUs. It says I'm reading their website currently. It says a simple malt based of Pilsner and two-row malts. This golden hued IPA delivers drifting hop aromas of fresh mango and tangerine. Softly bitter with a light/medium body, this IPA is lively, clean, and decidedly aromatic. This nomadic IPA seems to change path each year, traversing new territories and never settling.
What a great description of it. And I agree, very apt. Great Northwest style IPA.
Yeah,
Love the maltiness, the hot balance. It's got a nice sweetness to it without being sweet.
straight up.
Phenomenal
Little-
American IPA.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
A light, danky quality to it, but very light. It doesn't make itself super forward here, which I can appreciate.
What's the rating on Untapped?
Untapped has this sitting at a 3.78, which is derived from 94 ratings.
That's it.
Yeah.
Only 94 ratings. Okay. Well, I'm going to round it up to a 4. I think this beer is absolutely phenomenal. I really, really enjoy it. A great Northwest IPA. And this is one, I'd say it sits pretty well at 6.8%. Assuming that's the right percentage and I didn't misremember. But if you are kind of on the fringe of liking or not liking IPAs, this is a great one. And I think it could help turn a corner for you.
100%. Yeah. So just to note, I did double check their website, which is sitting at a 6.3%. Untapped has this at a
6.3, correct.
six-
6.3.
6.2%.
Can
which-
says 6.3.
So we'll trust the can as we
In
always
the
do.
can we trust.
In can we trust? I'm gonna quadruple down with you, man. For the show, we're just in sync tonight.
Look
I'm
at
gonna
that.
go with a 4 as well. I think it's a great representation of a Northwest style IPA.
And what a great design on the can. I would fucking love a poster or a sticker of something of this. So, Seven Seas Brewing Company, if you are listening to this, please send me a sticker or poster or coaster.
Get at us,
I would appreciate it.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
right on, man.
Good choice.
Great choice. Great finishing beer.
Mhm.
Well, before we kind of wrap up here, what have you been watching, reading, doing, playing?
Oh man, so it's been a good week. I wrapped up Glow season 3.
Me too.
Awesome. What'd you think?
I fucking love it. And what a great show. They take a little bit of a turn story-wise in this one, as far as kind of what they're focusing, because all the characters are established, right? So we don't necessarily have to have that struggle of the struggling actress, as it were, or some of that emotional turmoil between certain characters. They've all kind of, for the most part, grown up on that. Now we're getting things with wrestlers like, in Betty Gilpin's case, struggling trying to be a producer of this show and being away from her newborn baby that's really breaking her heart. The girl that plays Welfare Queen, the legendary Awesome Kong, the injuries, the back pain, which was a real thing with a lot of wrestlers at the time, refusing to admit that she's in pain, just having to have a few more shows. Some of the wrestlers, or Sam, just being bored from producing the same thing over and over. It's just a whole different, a lot of people questioning their sexuality in a world where it wasn't okay to do that necessarily. So, man, what a different take, but still so phenomenal.
Just for all the reasons you explained,
Mhm.
man, that show was fantastic. Like the complexity of the characters that we got to see, the conflict that involved, like especially from seasons 1 and 2, we have so much growth and development from every character. And in a show that has 8+ different characters involved, that is
Mhm.
a lot to have happen.
Absurdly different personalities too.
Mhm.
And not just that, and also I don't know if I want to get too much into spoiler territory, because I know it's still relatively a new series as far as season 3 goes.
Mhm.
But that moment where they're camping, where just before there's an episode where all the characters decide to switch, and the white girl's playing the quote unquote Chinese character and doing I guess you could say a racist caricature version of it, and her half Cambodian, half Chinese friend is understandably quite offended
Yep.
by it. And then they get that breakdown where they're all doing stories, and someone, the Jewish girl makes a joke about, the Holocaust, I guess you could say, at the time, and everybody kind of got uncomfortable and scoffed it off, and she got really deep into it. And then she's like, people don't understand, and then the Cambodian girl talked about how she very much does, because the Pol Pot regime was terrible and killed millions of Cambodians that a lot of Americans for some reason just don't know about,
Which is bizarre.
which is
yeah.
bizarre. Second largest genocide on the planet. And people are just like, what? And it was a super emotional moment,
It
man.
really was.
Like, it got some man tears flowing from me.
100%,
Like,
dude. I was
like,
with you, man.
holy shit.
I was with you.
Dude, so it was like, there were just so many deep emotional story arcs in this season that weren't there in the first two,
Mm-hmm.
to this level at least.
Yeah.
The only thing as a wrestling mark that I'll say that bummed me out about season 3, so we didn't get any wrestler cameos, really, like we did in the first 2 seasons. So that kind of made me sad.
Me too. I wonder why. I mean, it
Wasn't
huge...
appropriate, maybe,
wasn't.
for anything that kind of happened within that series.
Makes sense.
But let's talk about how great Gina Davis is for a second, though.
Fucking Gina Davis, dude. Fucking straight up from a league of their own. She is
Goddamn queen.
everything that I think of when I think of strong women. Gina Davis is the embodiment of that particular type of person. She's great. She's lovely. She's wonderful.
That's another one of those shows that I can't put over enough as far as what people should watch. Whether you're a man, a woman, a wrestling fan, not a wrestling fan, you like good story, drama, comedy, whatever it may be. That's such a well done, underrated series on Netflix. And I really hope there's more, because the end of season 3, again, we won't talk about exactly what happens, but it does not end on a high note. You want more. It really doesn't.
I was like, God, I need the next season.
And they've already kind of gone past the history of the original Glow, so it's all just kind of creating its own universe inspired by, which is a lot of fun, because, you know, these are fun characters and we want to know more about them. But yeah, they really ended kind of like on a fuck you moment. Like, it did not make you feel positive.
Sure did. Yeah. And you're just like, God, I need to know how this pans out. Like, let me know. So, yeah, appreciate it.
So let's talk about this movie I just watched, Alita Battle Angel.
Yep.
Because I know you've seen that as well.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that movie?
I thought the movie's well done from a CGI perspective. I thought they kicked a lot of ass. We get those
a lot of ass. Some of the most ass I've seen kicked when it comes to a CGI perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah, we get to see those anime eyes come out. Just the way they blended live action and CG to the degree that they did was quite incredible.
With Alita being a pure CGI character, and within minutes you just accept her into that universe of non-CGI characters.
Yeah.
It was really well done. And again, one thing we always see is a struggle with a lot of movies when they do CGI is the face. And what a great job they did, especially said around the eyes, the mouth, the emotion. Very few times did I look at the face and be like, yeah, that's off. And normally that's the main thing. They did such a good job with it. It was fucking phenomenal, especially those big old eyes.
So good. Absolutely. Yeah. And I like, this world was believable to a high degree. So I just, it's great.
Yeah. It was just some of the things. I had a lot of problems with the movie, though. One, it was long. It was like over 2 hours long, almost 2.5 hours long.
Right.
Nowhere near enough action. When they did the action, it was good.
Yep.
I will say that I really liked the action, the fight in it, the choreography kind of montage Alita did when she got her first body. I won't spoil it too much if you haven't seen it. It was awesome. It was well done. But then her personality wise was very love-struck teenager. In a lot of ways, it seemed super forced and way too intense that I think took away from her power in the storyline overall.
I would agree with that. Okay. That's a great summation.
So a little bit of that. And again, just nowhere near enough action. Some of the acting was kind of cheesy. To me, that one of the cardinal sins of a movie was you end it trying to set up a sequel.
100%. Yeah.
When you very well may not get one, because who knows, if we're to do a part 2 of this list in a year, we may be talking about how Alita's never going to happen for one reason or the other. But it still may, because I think it made money. I'm not sure.
I have to check it. Yeah.
It's one of those ones I won't say don't watch it. If you want a kind of fun CGI movie with not enough action, but good action when it gets there, give it a watch.
Give it a watch. Yeah, absolutely. I recommend give it a watch. There's another movie. Well, there's another Netflix series that I finished up. It was called Mindhunters, which is actually quite phenomenal. So if you're unfamiliar, Mindhunters is a show that is based on the behavioral science division of the FBI as far as it pertains to the late 70s and creating what they do is profile serial killers. And so we see how this particular division of the FBI is created and how they did their research, which is quite interesting. And if you are into behaviors and behavioral science, I recommend watching it.
Yeah, I'm pretty intrigued by that. I've heard one of my employees and a few other people that I've talked to have actually brought this up, and it seems quite intriguing. And I'm not much into the serial killer ideology, but this being done, is it done kind of docu style, like documentary, or
No, it's done from a perspective of not really a documentary style, but it's done as a storytelling element.
okay?
It is based on real murderers.
Is it
and
like a
real
different
people?
story every episode?
No, it they all tend to collaborate. Not collaborate, but the word is I'm thinking. They all tend to build toward the same
Okay.
goal.
All roads lead to Rome,
Yes.
sort of thing.
hmm
Okay,
Also done by David Fincher.
really,
Yeah, he directs seasons 1 and
really.
for the majority of it, but it's
I
his
haven't seen
story.
anything from Fincher Fight Club for those of you that aren't sure.
Mhm.
In quite a while.
Yeah, no, he does a phenomenal job. It's
Okay.
dark, it's gritty, it's real, it's genuine. I
That
think
makes me way more intrigued. I had no idea David Fincher did it.
yeah, based on a book that was created specifically, not specifically for this, but it was based on a book that a gentleman wrote that I can't remember his name. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I watched Men in Black International.
Oh, nice. How was it?
It was good.
Okay.
It really like it. I don't know if it. I guess you could say it was a flop. I think is officially a flop, but I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't very well marketed, though. I think there are still a fair amount of people that don't even know this movie exists.
Really?
But the CGI was good. The acting was pretty fun. It had some good storytelling. I would say, like I said, out of the 4 Men in Black movies so far, it's the second best outside the first one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good action, good story, good heart. Tessa Thompson was really good. It didn't spend too much time on backstory for the new characters. As well cast outside of those two, especially with the Liam Neesons and other actors whose name I can't remember at this time.
That's fair.
But that's one if you kind of want a silly sci-fi movie just to sit back and have, an hour and a half, I think is all it is. It's not long at all of entertainment. Give it a watch.
Good old 90 minutes of good times.
Yeah, that's pretty much a great way to describe it.
All right, man. Very cool. Well,
got anything else for the people?
I don't, man.
I don't think so either, but I appreciate you guys sticking with us. I'm sure Paula and Will say hi and that they are sad they weren't a part of this episode. That's just what I assume they would be thinking. But check out our Facebook group, Brewnomics Brew Crew. Join us there. We share great meme stories, podcasts, YouTube videos. It's just a fun little thing that we all enjoy. Follow us on all things social media. I guess until next time, I'm Jerry.
I've been Vic.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's cool looking.
All right.